What's going on YouTube? It's your boy camATL. Shout out to the DFS squad. Shout out to everybody watching this video right now. Drop a like down below because I already know you're gonna love it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Make sure you comment anything down in the comment section to enter your name into the $50 giveaway that I do every single week on this channel. Like the video, subscribe as well. I'm not gonna take up too much of your time. Greenlightdfs.com. I will let you guys know we have a 7-game early and a 7-game main. That means at greenlightdfs.com, we will be providing for the early slate and the main. And if you go to the site before the early slate starts, you will get both for the price of one. All right, so make sure you hit up the site before the early slate. Let's go ahead and keep this heat going. All right, starting off at first pitcher, Justin Verlander. His last 2 starts, he's been lights out. Now he gets to go against a okay Minnesota team. They've been playing okay so far this year, but there's some good Ks in this lineup, and they're just not that great. Outside of Rosario, they're just not amazing. And this is a team that Verlander can definitely run the Ks up on. He's at home in Houston. Expect Houston to get him the win as well. I definitely expect Justin Verlander to keep this heat going, and he's by far and away the best pitcher option on this slate. Next up, Jordan Lyles at 7-4. He's been absolutely pitching lights out. He had a bruise on his hand, so he was pulled from his last start, but he's throwing pitches already again, and he has been announced to be the starter here against Arizona. He's good to go, guys. All right, don't worry about it. He's been absolutely lights out, like I told you. I mean, look at this ERA, 0.53. Look at how he's been so far. Okay, he got pulled from the Giants game, and he still had 26.5. Before that, 33.1, and then an okay game at 11.7. At 7-4, we don't need a whole lot. I'm hoping for 20 plus, and I'm happy. And this is a good matchup for him against an Arizona team that's without their Goldschmidt. They're just not that great. They don't have Lamb right now, okay? They're just not great right now. So Jordan Lyles at home in Pittsburgh. I love Jordan Lyles at 7-4. Next up, Chris Davis. Now, this dude went on a no-hit streak for the longest time, and guess what? We played him the day he broke out of it. Then we played him again the next time he played, and he homered. And then last night we played him again, and he homered. It's like I am the Chris Davis whisperer. I don't know what it is. But at 2-7, he opens up for us to be able to get whoever we want, or spend up for both of your pitchers if you want, or whatever. But 2-7 is a great price for a guy who's been hitting the ball very well, and he's going against a bad pitcher in Irvin Santana, who gives up a lot of hard contact. So I expect Chris Davis to have another good game. Even if he doesn't hit a home run, I'm expecting him to get on base a few times and hit value. And we don't need much at all at 2-7. All right, just not a 0. At 2-7, we don't need much, though. Next up, Jonathan Villar. Now, this guy's always a threat to steal bases on the base pads. I love him here. Great matchup. Like I said, I mean, I like picking on Santana on this slate. I like these Baltimore guys at home against Santana. I think they get to him and get to him early. Villar is a great bet. He bats at the top of this order. Like I said, he can always steal bases. That's always a plus over on DK where you get that nice bonus. So love Jonathan Villar at 4-7. Last but not least, Andrew McCutchen against a bad lefty in Jason Vargas. Vargas has shown signs of doing well from time to time throughout his career, but he's still not a great lefty, gives up a ton of hard contact, doesn't strike many guys out either side of the plate, and Andrew McCutchen is an elite batter versus left-handed pitching. I expect Philly to come out after being embarrassed last night against Wheeler. We had Wheeler in our lineups. He absolutely dominated that Philly lineup. I expect Philly to come out wanting to prove something, and against Jason Vargas after getting embarrassed against Wheeler, though they will have that opportunity. So I love Andrew McCutchen against a bad lefty at only 4-5. He is an elite play on this slate. And that's it, guys. I told you, simple, quick, and sweet. Got to the point. There we go. Justin Verlander, Jordan Lyles, Chris Davis, Jonathan Villar, and Andrew McCutchen. Another guy in the outfield that I debated with was Andrew Benintendi. I like the price of Mookie Betts as well out there. So there's some good options here on this slate. There's not a whole lot of people that you really have to spend up for when it comes to bats on this slate. So the move might be to go with like a Verlander and another stud pitcher. But honestly, I mean, can we trust Buehler going to Chicago? Chicago, like I said, their offense, people tend to see the names in that lineup and think, oh no, they've got Chris Bryant, they've got Baez. you don't want to play pitchers against them, but they can not do well. Okay, they can definitely get a lot of strikeouts there. We'll have to see how the wind is looking in that game. Chicago's one of those parks that if the wind's blowing in, that's a huge benefit to pitching. So if they end up having a strong wind coming in the ballpark, then Buehler will be an elite play at 9-4 because that'll limit those home runs big time out there in Chicago. Cole Hamels against the Dodgers, I will not be playing that. I fear the Dodgers lineup at all times. I'm not going to be picking on the Dodgers at all. You have Eduardo Rodriguez at 9,000. That's a little bit too expensive, to be real with you. Detroit's offense is horrible. I get it. But 9,000 seems pretty pricey for Eduardo Rodriguez. I'd rather just get Lyles and get whatever bats I want on this slate. Okay? And there are some spend-up bats that I like. There's just not a whole bunch of like must plays. We don't have Coors on the main slate. That's on the early slate. We don't have a bunch of, huge pay up guys here on this slate. So I like Lyles and pairing up some nice mid-range guys here to really build out a great lineup. And like I said, the early slate's the one with Coors. That's the one you'll want to get all the Coors value you can. Go to greenlightdfs.com. Join the squad before the early slate, and you will get both slates tomorrow. Let's keep this heat going. Thank you guys for watching me as always.